Never fallen, but do you ever let your guard down?
Good morning. Welcome to Lovebabz, Lovetalk. I'm Babz Rawls Ivy. And I'm a little bit late because Chelsea Tipton is in the studio. And we've been chatting since I walked in the door.
Most definitely.
Then I realized we have to do this on air. Good
yes.
morning.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Welcome.
I'm having a great time in New Haven this time, and we have some great music that we
You
shared with
do.
you. Came to the concert.
I loved every
we had
minute
a
of it.
star at the concert. Yeah, it was fabulous.
Oh, they were great. Although you need some sisters singing up there, but they
We
were
do.
good, but they were great.
Yeah,
They held it down.
they held it down.
And I was
They
like, you
held
know
it
what? They could use a few sister voices up there.
They could. They could. And we also had the Connecticut Gay Men's Chorus.
Oh, they
on
were
the-
really. You know, I have not seen them in a very long time.
Yes.
So-
The first time I've worked with them. And
So it was really nice to see them.
Mhm.
And I thought it was very tongue in cheek when they were singing that song about.
Standing on the corner, watching all the girls go. Yeah, I know. It's kind of
I was like-
ironic.
And I was like staring at them like I was waiting for somebody to be like, throw some shade.
I know. That was kind of the I guess I don't know. That was
It was fun.
fun.
It was fun.
And the song that stills the show every time is "I Am What I Am."
Yes.
On the second, I don't know what it is about that song. And when we programmed it, both myself and their director, Greg McMahon, were like, "Is this a good song?" I mean, and everything. We were kind of hesitant about it, but I tell you, every night,
Listen,
every day,
my daughter was like, she was hyped for that song.
great song.
Right, because that's the 200 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh no,
No, that's the Seasons of Love.
that's the Season of
Yeah.
Love, which I love.
That's great.
That song will go down in ages as one of the
Mhm.
best songs.
Real classic.
Yes,
Real classic.
but they sang on some good. I loved all that jazz. I loved when you sing La Barbara.
I know. I know.
I love it. Oh my God! And having that full orchestra was something.
Yeah.
I loved it. But I loved even before the singing started all the music that led up to it.
Yeah, and we try to kind of it's nice to accompany singers and everything, but it's also nice to feature the orchestra a little bit.
And it was. I mean,
Yeah.
I
And
heard
we had a few pieces.
the Phantom of the Opera.
Mhm.
I heard that.
76 trombones.
Oh yes.
Did a little music.
But y'all
from-
had three.
We had 3. That's my little bit that I do. 3
That was
really
cute.
good ones. But there's 73 more trombones, we make 76. But no, we try to make it fun, try to make it engaging. Which show did you come to, the Saturday or the Sunday?
I went to Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. Yeah. And so it's a wonderful program. The way this works, or should I talk about this now?
Yeah, talk about
okay.
it. We got time.
We got time. So I'm the principal pops conductor of the symphony, and so I just do the pops concerts. I come down here 4 times a year, and there are these packages that are put together. And so John Such has a company. His name is John Such. He has a company, and so he hires the singers. He puts the music together. He sends us all the things that we need to put the show on.
So you're not sitting around the table like we should do this song and that song,
no, because it's not my strength. And so he puts the whole thing together and hires the singers, and both of these singers were in the musical Wicked, and
Yes,
so
they were great.
They were really great, and
they
had
looked amazing.
They had great, they had lots of costume changes. Lots
I
of,
love that.
and when she said we got to end the concert because we've run out of dresses, it's so true. But it's a lot of fun to put together, and it's a fabulous orchestra to work with. This is my 5th season as the principal Pops conductor.
Wow. So POP stands for popular music.
Popular music.
So how did you get here?
So I see. I guess so. This is my 5th season. So probably about 7 years ago, they were looking for another Pops conductor, and they contacted my manager, and I came in and did a concert on the first year of the search. They did 2 years of a search, and then they had brought in 4 people, or probably 6 people total, and then they selected me, and this is the first time I've been a Pops conductor for an orchestra.
Really?
As in a position as a Pops director. I've done a lot of Pops concerts, but it's been a really great blessing to be here, and to work with this level orchestra too has been a real joy.
So you really live in Texas?
I live in Texas. Near
Are
Houston.
you directing an orchestra? Okay, what orchestra are you?
So my main orchestra,
your main gig.
My main gig is I'm the music director of the Symphony of Southeast Texas in Beaumont, Texas. And I've been there for 10 years.
Wow.
And so I do mainly classical concerts up there.
Oh,
Classical,
really?
Yeah. And so it's kind of a nice balance for me. I get to do, classical masterpieces in addition to come up here and do this type of more popular music. And the two really do feed off each other. I think when I do classical concerts, I think I'm better at talking to the audiences because of the Pops work that I do. And when I do the Pops concerts, the classical training and it keeps my skills sharp.
Yes,
and
that makes sense.
Yeah, and so the two work well with each other. So
tell me about your life, because when we were talking out in the hallway in the office, you grew up in Greensboro.
Grew up in Greensboro, North
the
Carolina.
home of Bennett Bells.
Bennett College. We were talking about that, and you had someone who went to Bennett College.
My daughter is there right now.
Oh my goodness! I'll be heading. I should look her up.
You should,
because I go down there at least 3 times a year. And so I was born in Oklahoma, and my parents are both music teachers. My dad played clarinet, and my mom played trumpet. They got their degrees, and they taught for a while. Then my dad got the job at Hampton University as the chairman of the music department there in Hampton, Virginia. And we were there for 5 years. And then we moved to Greensboro when I was about 10 years old. And they still live there. And I would not be where I am today without my parents, just because without their support. They are, like I said, they've supported me with this musical journey.
So when did you know you wanted to be like? God, I'm a parent, and I was insistent about putting music into their lives.
Oh well,
is that how that started?
Yeah, I mean, I played clarinet too, like my dad, and so my dad played clarinet. I wanted to play clarinet. In 4th grade, I started playing clarinet, and I majored in music in college at Eastman School of Music up in Rochester, New York. And about my sophomore, junior year, I started dabbling in conducting, and then I got my master's degree in Northern Illinois in orchestral conducting. And that's when things started kind of taking off for me in that direction. But I did keep the clarinet going for quite a long time. I still play.
You still play?
Okay. I still play.
Okay.
And I might play sometime next season with the orchestra.
Really?
On a piece, yeah. But it's hard to keep both of them going. It's really, really difficult. And this job as a conductor is not I always tell people it's not a linear path. It's ups and downs and lefts and rights, and it's really a management job. You're trying to manage the 50 people, the 60 people, the 70 people on stage, and to get them to buy into your vision of the music.
Wow. So how many Black conductors are there in the world? Do you know? Is there a Black conductor organization?
Yes, there's a Black Conductors Facebook page, which I'm a member
Seriously?
of. Yes. There's not many Black conductors. And my parents, being in the music biz, they knew a number of them. There were symphonic orchestral conductors. There's quite a few in the choral tradition, because that choral tradition is such a big part of the African-American experience. But for symphonic music, there's not many. There's a young lady, African-American lady here in New Haven, who has the New Haven Civic Orchestra. Kalina Bovell, I believe is her name.
I don't know her.
Oh, she's fabulous, and she's straight up, symphonic conductor. And I met her a couple of months ago, and we were going to get together. I think we're going to get together today, but the snow might
Give
hurt
her my number. I'd like to talk
I will
to
do
her.
that. You should have her on here. She's really up and coming and fabulous. But it's difficult. And so when my parents were growing up, if you wanted to really make it in the classical world as a conductor, you had to go to Europe.
Okay.
You just weren't given exposure and experience.
But
here.
that's a lot of. But the jazz artists talk about that same kind of deal.
Same
you
thing.
know.
So it's my path was through. I was an assistant conductor for the Savannah Symphony for 4 years, and then I was the assistant conductor for the Toledo Symphony for 7 years.
How could you leave Savannah? It's so beautiful.
I know. Well, the orchestra went out of business, so
well, yeah.
so
they gotta go.
Gotta go. It's like, but it was a great experience for me. And then when I was in Toledo, I really wanted my own orchestra, so I started applying for jobs, and I got the job down in Beaumont, Texas.
Okay. And so that's where you are. And so you do Texas, New Haven, and then
I guess conduct. I'm leaving on Friday from here to go to York, Pennsylvania, to work with the York Symphony, and there I'll be doing the music of David Bowie.
Oh,
I know,
that is cool. Well, y'all are doing the New Haven Symphony is doing Queen.
They're doing Queen. That's a really big opportunity, and it's a great opportunity for exposure, so people can really see how great our orchestra is here.
Well, yeah.
But 3 weeks ago, I was with the Houston Symphony, and you know who I conducted there?
Who?
Boys to Men.
Get out!
It was so much fun, and people. But and that's what I tell musicians and conductors: you got to be able to do everything. And 2 weeks ago, I was doing the Rachmaninoff Second Symphony, which is it's from the sublime to the ridiculous. You have to be able to change gears and change clothing and be able to have a very wide variety of
So how much traveling do you do?
Well, this month is kind of busy, but typically like maybe once a month.
Is it busy because it's Black History Month?
Sometimes that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's on average I travel maybe once a month for a couple of days. This is kind of a long trip right now.
Are you teaching too? Are you lecturing? No?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm a full-time conductor, and I'm very blessed to be able to do that full-time.
So is the season done in Texas?
No, we have we finish up in April, mid-April or so.
Okay.
And so we have two major concerts left: a Pops concert and then our season finale. So it runs kind of like a school year. A season kind of runs like a school year, September to April or May for most orchestras. And this orchestra here in New Haven is the 4th oldest orchestra in the country.
Yes, I learned that from Alistair.
I think it's 125 years old.
Yes,
like that.
So you missed the big gala.
I missed the gala.
It was really fun.
And you and I talked before, right?
Yes, I had
Maestro
you
Boughton.
and Maestro Boughton on. He was in New London conducting the Coast Guard Orchestra, and you were in Texas doing your thing.
Yeah.
And technology just was not in our favor.
Well, we made it work. And we made it work. And Maestro Boughton has a different role here. He's the music director of the orchestra, so he kind of oversees everything and does the classical concerts. And this is his last season, and he's done such great work in the community and for the orchestra, really building up the level of playing, and also some great projects that he's done over the years. And one of his biggest projects was this new music symposium that he's trying to create, just commission new music for the orchestra.
So did y'all work closely together? Do you work closely together?
No.
Because y'all are not in the same space.
Because when I'm conducting, he's not, and so he doesn't need to come around. He doesn't. It's just not necessary. And I live in the. If I lived here, I would go to his rehearsals and I go to his concerts and that type of thing. But no, and most orchestras they kind of just work in different separate orbits.
So tell me about the audiences these days. You've been at this a long time. Are you starting to see a shift? I'm starting to see a little bit of shift. I'm starting to see young people at the symphony. I'm starting to see things called date night at the symphony and those kinds of things that are bringing it relevant to a new audience.
Well, symphonies have their challenges all over the world of trying to get younger audiences in. And the challenge is people who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s are often raising children at that time. And so what we tend to get at the symphony is once the children are maybe getting to late high school or going off to college, Then the parents are saying, "Oh, we've got some free time," and then now we can go see the symphony, which is usually in their 40s or 50s and so on. But I think New Haven Symphony has really done a great job of trying to reach out into the community and
they've done a good
engage
job.
younger.
Yes,
Yeah,
they've done a good job of that. So,
and they send me out. So tomorrow I'll start going out to some schools and working with some local high school and middle school bands.
do you like that?
I do.
Really?
I do. And as part of my parents are both music educators,
Mhm.
and so young people are very important. And people reach down to me to lift me up so that I could be where I am. So I'm happy to return the favor and to try to help kids and inspire them to appreciate music. Not trying to make musicians out of them, not trying to make music majors out of them, but just to have an appreciation for music. And maybe it might spark the interest of someone, just as it did for me when I was a young child.
Yes. So is there so when you pick out a new season, because when you're in Texas, do you get to decide the music for the season?
Pretty much. And we do that when I'm in town. So when I was here in December for our holiday concert, I met with Elaine Carroll and various people in the administration, and we started kind of mapping things out. And then yesterday, we pretty much put the final touches on the season. So it's 4 programs, and one of the programs is a holiday concert, which happens in December, of course. And I gave you a kind of a little hint at the concert on Saturday of, I think I sang for you.
Yes, the music of Over the Rain, the Wizard of Oz, which they're celebrating some ridiculous number too. I don't know.
So I don't know. Maybe that might be something. tease. But I'm gonna. No, we'll probably have some type of Wizard of Oz connection in all likelihood.
I like that. That music is ripe for that.
It's
Like
good
so
for it.
much music.
What type of music do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of jazz.
Jazz, love jazz.
I do. I listen to a lot of jazz. I listen to a lot of my children keep me popular focused, right? Like the popular music. Like I don't know any of the popular artists, so they keep me well versed in that. But I mean, and I'm an old school R&B.
Yeah.
Old school, like Michael Henderson, Norman Connors, that kind of thing. I think I'm dating myself, but
But I watch the Grammys each year because it kind of gives me in 3 hours
a sense
of what's current. And what I'm noticing too is I know fewer and fewer of the artists.
Oh my God!
There.
I was like, I don't know who is this Upset Dipset. I'm like,
or
what?
her and I was talking to my niece a couple of months ago, and she mentioned Cardi B. And
who I
was like,
love now.
Yeah. Well, I said, who? And she's like, she looked at me in just disbelief. So I
Like,
got my
where
phone
are
out.
you?
I know. Who are you? Are you still my uncle? But yeah, the thing is about music is it evolves, and any art form needs to evolve. And so I support, I may not like all the music that's out there, but I certainly support an artist's freedom of expression.
What are you listening to? Like what's in your? What do people have? What's on your phone? What's in your? What's in your Pandora? What's your playlist? The president has a playlist.
I know.
Michelle Obama has a playlist. So Maestro Tipton, you have
Maestro Tipton. Yes.
What's your playlist?
I listen to so much music that I'm working on, so I try to listen to music that's not in that realm. So I don't listen to a lot of classical music on my own, for example.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. Because I have to listen to it
all
really
day when you're working.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, my thing, I love movie soundtracks.
Me too.
Love movie soundtracks.
That's when you have a movie coming.
Movies.
I can't wait.
Come and check it out.
Do I need to know? Can I ask which movies you're gonna?
No. Yeah, you can.
Right. Okay.
Probably be some John Williams on the program.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, got to have John Williams.
Of course.
But it's just a whole variety of things. Breakfast at Tiffany's. What's that? Moon River. That type of thing.
I know it.
So yeah, we're just trying to kind of spice things up. What else do I listen to? I listen to I like new age music, so like George Winston. Yeah, I like music without words, and just because words distract me. I mean, your life is about words on the radio.
I know what you said. That was
I just
like,
want
to hear music. I don't want to hear.
And
I know, but some good singing though, like some good.
I like good singing.
Like I love Diane Reeves. Like
I love Diane Reeves. I've worked with her twice.
She's she's gonna be at the Rose Room at Lincoln Center this weekend, and I'm like 2 seconds from like going.
Go. In fact, when they announced my appointment here, it was at the Arts and Ideas Festival.
Yes, and she sang.
So I was conducting that night.
Whoa!
And that was my first time.
Yes, you were.
That's when they announced my appointment as the principal Pops conductor. And then I worked with her again in Prague. And I was like,
that's a city I want to go to.
You should go. Oh,
I know it's a music city. It's very beautiful.
And they loved her. And that just goes to show you good music, good art, good artists, good musicians. Language is not a barrier.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just a great communicator and singer and musician, it will transcend the language issues.
So you listen to a lot of new age music. And what else?
I listen to pop music.
Do you?
Yeah, I listen to pop music when I'm in the car. And when I'm working out, I like to work out. That's my big hobby. Yeah.
Okay, what's on the playlist for the workout?
Oh, the playlist for workout. Well, I'll get like workout music. So it'll be
because it's got to be like so many beats per minute.
Yeah. Because otherwise, I'm tired. I'm gonna go home. Yeah. So those are kind of just mashup of pieces, but they keep a certain pulse. Yeah. But so music from like early 2000. My era that I most feel connected to would probably be the 1990s.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was in school.
Yes.
I just finished up school. Also, the 80s has a very sentimental, because I was in college at that time, and like Ghostbusters, I was,
who you gonna call?
Who you gonna call? I mean, that. Oh.
See, I graduated high school in 81.
Oh, okay. 82. So
Oh,
hey.
all right. And then I went off to college, and so that whole 80s into the 90s soundtrack was my
New Jack City.
Yes,
the movie.
I was all about the New Jack City, and all about
Nino Brown.
Oh God. And the neo soul kind of rose up in that time, right? Like Lauryn Hill and all of that. So I was
Luther. I love Luther.
Oh my God! Do you know how many times I saw Luther? I saw him in Charlotte.
Wow!
I saw him. Wherever he was. I saw him a gazillion times.
I always wanted to see him live. I didn't get to see him live. I know.
He was like Diana Ross. You know, they could command a stage. You know, some artists can work a whole stage. He took up the whole stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very.
It's funny. I was watching some YouTube of him just like a week ago, before that I hadn't heard anything from him in years, but just something just inspired me to just want to look up, and when I listened to the music, it took me back to like the 1980s and 1990s.
Yeah,
good times.
Yes,
but there's something about vocal music. You walked into the I just started singing. I was like, oh, the queen has arrived. She has arrived.
A show tune will do that, though.
A show tune will do that, and especially if it's sung well.
I don't know if I sing it well. I walk into a room, I'll belt out of.
But there's something about the human voice that can connect on just a deep level. I guess because we all have voices, and when you hear whether it's classical music or whether it's pop music. When you hear it, it just like, oh, I'm gonna listen to this.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's something very spiritual about it. I think.
Well, I mean, the human voice is sensual, and an instrument, and can be soothing, right?
Absolutely.
It can be soothing, or it could grate your damn nerves, depending on who's speaking.
And it can be deceiving because we can think, I sound really good, and you really don't.
Like me?
No.
That's all right. It's all right.
But my big question when someone says, "I want to sing with the symphony," in like Beaumont when I'm in Texas, I okay, great. My first question: do you read music? Yeah, because if you don't,
it can be hard.
It can be hard. And the thing that was so impressive about the Connecticut Gay Men's Chorus, who joined us on this concert and will be joining us on Thursday, is sometimes with community groups, when they sound great in their own environment or when they sing in their locations, but when they get with the symphony, since everything happens so fast, it can kind of freak them out. And they didn't get freaked out. They were like on it.
They were. I mean, they looked amazing.
They looked amazing, and they had great attitudes. They came. I had one rehearsal with them before I met with the orchestra. We had everything together with the orchestra. They were absolutely prepared, and just a fantastic attitude.
Mhm.
And so I am really impressed with them, and I hope we can work together again.
So for the Valentine's Day concert, is it the same songs?
Same songs
Okay.
in Woolsey Hall.
Which is, I was so tempted to come. I have other plans, but I was like, to see them in Woolsey Hall would be something.
Well, it would. Yeah, I haven't worked in there very often. This will be maybe my third concert there since I've worked here, and it'll be my third evening concert because, as you know, our concerts are in the afternoon in Hamden and Shelton.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very echoey acoustical environment.
It is challenging, and everybody who has come before you has said that.
Yeah.
So I've heard that.
And so much of what's so great about this music are the words. And so I'm glad we've had a chance to do the program twice already.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have it really locked in and really ready to go. I think people are going to have a fabulous time.
I like the Hamden Middle School venue.
I do too.
I really like the seats are comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
the aisles are wide, and you can see no matter where you're sitting. It's a wonderful place.
Well, I think for this music, it's a really great setting because it's not so big.
Yes.
You feel like you're really part of it.
Yes.
We'll have a different type of experience at Woolsey, which I think will be equally as fun,
Mhm.
but it'll be a very different experience
Well,
because the artists
it
will be
is.
further away.
Yes.
You know?
Well, Woolsey is such a romantic.
Mm-hmm.
It is history and romance intersect. And people sort of like that grandeur, and
Mm-hmm.
and it'll make a date night feel bigger than what it is.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then there's dinner at Barracuda,
Barracuda.
right? Like they got a whole thing. Like if
Yeah.
you want to go to dinner before Barracuda to come to the show.
Wow, I'm gonna be working. I'm gonna be stressed. I'm gonna have fun, but it'll be a great thing. And one thing I think I may have said, I don't know if I said it at that concert, but orchestras and arts groups, we have to reach out into the community.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just say, you all come to us. We have to really reach out to them. So I'm glad we're going to have. It'll be probably a very different audience than what we typically have in Hamden and Shelton when we perform at Woolsey.
Yes. Yeah. Because I go to both venues, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to Shelton.
Shelton High School, and so we used to be in Shelton Middle School,
Mm-hmm.
but we outgrew it.
Mm-hmm.
And
you about to outgrow
well,
the
we're
Hamden
talking
middle school
about things.
too.
Yeah, we're
You
talking
about
about
to
things.
outgrow that, but
Well, yeah, because we sell out there
Yeah.
each time, and so it's I mean things are growing, and that's what we want.
but that's good.
That's good.
People are looking forward to these.
People are looking forward to it, and it's about making a connection. So we'll see how things go.
So are we thinking about next year's performances? Do you already know what they are?
I do. I don't think I can announce. I don't want to get fired. We'll have a holiday concert. Okay. Yeah, that's for sure. And I think next year's holiday concert might be. I think that one's going to be in Woolsey. The one will be in Woolsey. We do this every other
Is
year.
this the Pops holiday?
Pops holiday.
Okay. I don't think I've gone to the Pops holiday. I've gone to the symphonies when they've done like, I don't know, Hondo's Messiah or something or other.
Mhm. They do that every other year.
Yeah.
And then
which is my favorite piece of music.
it's a great piece. And that the Nutcracker is also another
Yes.
great.
I like the Nutcracker too.
Yeah, and so there might be something with Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
I'm so coming to that.
And oh man, if everything, and it looks like everything's coming together,
That's
it's
good.
it's gonna be a hot season.
So what's your downtime like? What do you
Like,
do? Like how do you
martial arts.
break?
Martial arts. That's my thing.
What?
Martial arts.
Martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I studied Aikido for 6 years when I lived in Toledo, Ohio,
Mhm.
working there. And then when I moved to Beaumont, they didn't really have Aikido there, and so I started jujitsu about 9 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been doing that for
So where do you go for vacation? Like what do you do?
vacation.
Like do you go musicless when you go for vacation?
No, in fact, I'll look for something that I want to do in a nice location spot. So like this coming summer, I would like to go to the Boulder, Colorado Music Festival.
Oh, okay.
And I'll go hang out and just in Boulder and just kind of do
Drink
my
some
thing.
wine and
Just kind of kick back. I'm a Diet Pepsi person.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm a square.
You know diet soda's bad for you.
I know.
All right, I'm just
I
saying.
know. When I did this,
Wine is better.
it probably is. Yeah, so I like to travel though. And
Okay.
usually in the summer I'll go and I'll visit my parents for a while in North
Okay.
Carolina.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to go to a workshop to try to sharpen my skills a little bit.
Do you have
And
kids?
no, no kids. Never married.
Oh,
I know. I got issues.
why? Why?
I got issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
But some of us get caught.
Yeah, no. I've been focused on my career.
Yeah.
And I've moved around a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I've
That's
traveled a lot. Yeah.
But that's a wonderful thing because you've gotten to see some of the world.
Got to see some of the world and got to see how other people think.
Yes.
That's very important. One of the big experiences probably the biggest musical experiences I had was in 2011. I did a tour with Sting over
Get
in,
out
I know.
of here.
It was a deal. It was a deal over in
What?
it was 14 different countries, 19 different orchestras in 2.5 months. And it happened in the summer. And what I did was I prepared the orchestras for the band. And I did some concerts with him as well in Spain. But mainly I was just traveling around all these orchestras all around the world. And I did the same 23 pieces with each one and just kind of seeing how people behave and react and working with all these different cultures. And it was a really exhausting experience, but I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd do it in a heartbeat again. Absolutely. But that's a lifestyle. I must say that touring thing. People think, oh, fabulous.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
But it is important, and I do encourage young people to focus on what your purpose is, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
But also explore different cultures, different parts of the world.
Travel will do that for you.
Yeah.
I think travel will do that for you. And,
have you been around the world?
I've been around some of the world. I got married and had kids. So
Yes, okay.
so now I'm about to be an empty nester. So my passport is like
blow it off.
It's like, all right, deuces.
Deuces.
So yeah.
Where would you like to go?
Paris, my favorite city. And then Kigali, Rwanda, because I have friends there who are trying to get me to move there.
You're not going to leave us, are you?
Yeah, I might go there though.
To visit.
I might want to buy some property.
Well, okay.
I'm thinking about it.
Hey,
I'm seriously.
expansion.
I'm thinking about this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to live a little bit in Paris, a little bit in Kigali, and keep my space here. And
that sounds really cool.
I know.
I mean, it does sound very, very cool.
I gotta get it in before assisted living.
We're the same age. We've got a ways to go.
We got
a ways to go. we're probably around the same age.
So, if you could conduct any orchestra in the world, what's the dream orchestra? And what's the dream music? Like, is there some music that you've not tackled yet?
Yeah. Dream orchestra. I got to conduct the New York Philharmonic in a read through. This is a long time ago. Yeah. And it was like driving a Ferrari. I mean, they are amazing. And so the dream orchestra I would love to conduct, in addition to New York Philharmonic, would be Berlin Philharmonic.
Oh.
They are just probably my favorite orchestra in the world. And the pieces that I would love to do, Gustav Mahler's Second Symphony, which is a massive piece, and the Alpine Symphony by Richard Strauss. I mean, these are really big pieces. My favorite music to conduct, though, classical music to conduct. I love Mozart. I love Beethoven.
Yes!
Tchaikovsky.
I love
love
Air.
Tchaikovsky.
Air is my favorite little piece. I hear that and I just changes me.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much good music out there, and there's also a lot of good new music that's coming down the pike.
Do you like the new artists,
like contemporary music?
The contemporary classic music, right?
I do, yeah.
Right.
I do like it.
Okay.
I don't conduct a lot of it, to be honest with you, but I try to introduce our audiences to that in Beaumont, where I live.
And are people receptive to it, or do they want their standard?
Yes.
I just want to hear my Beethoven and my Mozart and
Tchaikovsky. And
I don't want to.
Brahms.
I don't give a damn about whatever.
Well, it's how you package it, and it's how you. It's also what else is on the program. When you're doing programming, it is kind of like preparing a menu.
Yes,
you want to have a variety of things, but you also want to have some things that people are accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
And and I want to get away from the stigma of like, because it's new music that people aren't going to assume that people aren't going to like it. But it is in my concerts down in Texas, on the classical concerts, I often talk about the music before we play it. I'll have the orchestra to play excerpts from the music, like just 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I say, listen for this spot, listen for this reason, and this relates to this, listen for this spot, maybe 4 or 5 spots. That way, when they can kind of wrap their head around the music. When I go into an art museum, I feel overwhelmed because I'm not a visual artist. And when someone says, look at the birds, look at how you can see the texture, and you see these details, like, it really brings the
That's
painting
a good
to life.
way to do that. Yeah.
And I try to do the same thing for the audiences. And in Beaumont, they're very receptive to that. They want to know. And if you just throw it all at one time, it's a little bit too much, especially if a piece is 30 minutes long, 35 minutes long, 40 minutes long. It's kind of hard to absorb.
How big is Beaumont? I don't know Beaumont.
It's about 100,000 people.
So it's like New Haven.
It's like New Haven.
Okay.
70 miles from Houston. And the big thing is oil and rice. I don't know. I know. But it's big time rice production.
I had no idea.
Yeah. But it has also, right by Beaumont is Port Arthur, which is one of the largest ports in the country. And so there's a lot of engineering in there. There's Coast Guard in the area.
Okay. So you're on the coast.
Okay. On the coast, about 50 miles, well, from like the ocean, probably about 40 miles from the ocean. But we have a lot of ports and riverways that go through there. So that's a very big industry for the area. The orchestra's been around for 66 years.
Oh, that's a good while.
That's a good while, and it says a lot about the people of Beaumont that they have supported the orchestra, and things for the orchestra are going fabulous. Really financially. I think the other week when we did the Rachmaninoff Second Symphony, it was a opportunity for us to go to another level as artistically speaking. So we're growing, and things are really going in the right direction down there.
So talk a little bit about the state of symphonic music. What should we know?
Well, when you go to a classical music concert, I hope that people are always have their hearts open. That people like to hear what they're accustomed to hearing. The arts, maybe I'll speak more in general in the arts in this country, it's tough. It's really tough because people don't always appreciate what it brings to a community. I shared with you that I was with the Savannah Symphony, which had been around for a long time, and it was probably about a $1.6 million budget orchestra. The orchestra went out of business, and one of the things that I learned from that experience, and I was the associate conductor, I wasn't the music director, I was the associate conductor, is that arts organizations and that orchestra, I think, only catered to a certain area of town in Savannah. And then when the orchestra got in trouble, they were asking the entire city to support them, and they're like, "No, you've ignored us all these years. We're not going to support you." So what I learned from that is that you have to create a web of support, and classical music is for everyone, and regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, regardless of your sexual background, it's for everyone. And I really put a lot of stock in trying to be accessible. Orchestras can certainly have this elitist attitude. Yes. And I think that to try to break that barrier down is extremely important as the music director or as a pops conductor. I want the arts to be for everyone.
So do you go see other conductors?
I do.
Their friends who are like, I'm gonna come check you out.
Well, that's the challenge. Well, that's the challenge. Yeah, with conducting, as opposed to being a violinist, there's lots of violinists in this area, but there's not very many conductors. And you asked me about if I see Maestro Balton very much. I don't, because he does his thing, I do my thing, but he oversees everything, and which is his role as the music director. And so, yeah, I'll go and watch a conductor rehearse, or a concert. I don't get as much from the concerts, because by the time you get to the concerts, the work has sort of really been done. But to see how they approach different pieces, how they approach different problems in the orchestra. I call my fellow colleagues about advice all the time. And no man, no woman is an island. You don't know everything, and so you have to be willing to reach out to people and get advice.
So do you go and be like, I would have did that a little differently?
Sometimes, yeah. Or I see the result, but the result is also can be just dependent on that particular situation, that orchestra. And so you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. If you use that exact same approach with my orchestra, it may not work as well. But you also have to deal with the attitude sometimes of players. I've worked with orchestras. I was in a rehearsal 7 months ago I was guest conducting an orchestra, and we did a spot in the music, and I said to the trumpet player, I said, "Oh, when we get to the spot, could you just play it?" I said it like this: "Just play that a little bit faster. It's just a little bit behind and everything." And then I said a few other things to the orchestra. We started the orchestra back up. We got to that spot, and he purposely played it slower. I asked him to play it faster. He played it slower. And so I have a decision to make. Do I make a big deal out of this? Do I make a stink out of it on the podium? Do I talk to him off the podium? I handled it a different way. I let it go, and because it wasn't worth the battle. But trying to manage people is the big challenge of being a conductor.
You get that kind of shade from people?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
see.
And as it turned out, he was having what I found out, he was having a bad day, and he just I had a friend.
That takes a lot of heart to sort of back off things.
You got to know when to push the gas, and you got to know when to just let things go. And I was able in a kind of a back way to get the same result.
Okay.
I had someone to talk to him who was a friend of his, who was a friend of mine. They talked. Then I understood where he was coming from, and then in the concert, he played it faster.
Okay. Win-win.
Win-win.
So now, are all your friends in your circle musicians? Do you just hang out with musicians and orchestra people and?
No. I hang out with my jiu-jitsu buddies.
Okay.
And I hang out with my colleague at the symphony in Beaumont, and are pretty good friends. The executive director, and we do a lot of talking together. I mean, he's probably the person I hang out with the most, but I'm kind of a lone ranger. Kind of like to do my own thing, and
you're so personable. So that's why I can imagine you in all kinds of settings.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that I think both you and I have to share. You have to be engaging in this position. And when I went to my 30th high school reunion,
whoa,
yeah, I know, people were like, and I was talking, I was like, yeah, they're like, wow, you've changed, because I was really quiet. I wasn't introverted by no means, but I was just focused on my own thing and clarinet, and I was a band nerd and everything. But when I became a conductor, I realized I have to engage people.
Yeah.
And even when I don't really want to, you still have to, because sometimes I'm nervous about things, or I have a lot of things in my, I'm nervous.
That does not come across at all.
Yeah. Rehearsals, I get very nervous for rehearsals. I get nervous for concerts. I get more nervous for rehearsals because more things can go wrong. But concerts, yeah. But you have to talk to people still. You have to engage with people. So it's been an interesting journey. And even this, we've talked for a while now, and that's just part of what it is. Getting out and talking to people and telling people what a great orchestra we have, what a great concert we have, and we have to support the arts.
We should. We absolutely can. And if you want to hear some really good music, start with the pops. I always tell people, start with the pops, and then that will grow you into the symphonic music, the bigger pieces and the other pieces. It will grow you into it. And then you'll be like, what? I want to hear some more. I want to hear other. And, but start here.
My big phrase people hear me say is music is music. It's the same 12 notes, whether it's gospel, whether it's new age.
I heard that somewhere.
It's the same 12 notes. Now, they're arranged a little differently. They may sound a little different. But fundamentally, and I try to encourage, I do encourage young people, don't put up these barriers. Like, I only listen to rap music. I only listen to R&B. Listen to it all.
Yes. I went to see Wynton Marsalis with the
my hero.
I saw him with the
Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra.
And they were, I've seen him over the years because we're in the same age cohort too. So I've watched him from. I watched the trajectory of his career from the beginning and all of that, and how harsh he was about jazz music, and he was a purist. But now he's relaxed a little bit.
It's amazing how age can do that. Yes.
He's
sort
not
of
so
broadens
hyped up
your
about
view.
that now.
But his thing has always been too music education.
Yes.
And he even when he's on the road, he goes out and works with these high school
Oh my
bands,
God.
middle school bands,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a very inspiring to me when I was in the 80s and 90s when he was just starting out, and I was such a big fan and met him a number of times.
Yes.
And worked with him a number of times.
I'm a huge fan of his.
Yep.
And so, he likes to sort of teach and play. And,
Right.
and so I enjoy that so much. And now he has this thing about preserving music that is about to be lost, that
Yep.
no one is playing anymore. And so he feels compelled to play this music.
Yep.
And I just thought, wow.
Well, I saw him, which was fascinating. I saw him in Orange, Texas, which is right outside of Beaumont, with his Lincoln Center Jazz Band. And the first half was the music of Ellington. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll know some of these tunes. I knew one tune. That was it.
Yes.
And what was so brilliant about it was still entertaining.
Yes.
It was still, but
Yes.
Ellington wrote 2,000
Oh
pieces.
my God, he was talking about that the other night.
And we listened to maybe, I don't know, 50 of
Yeah.
them, 25 of them.
It was like a whole
There's a
other
whole-
body of work. Like, what? And it's
So true.
amazing. And he was talking about how hard some of it was to
Yes.
sort of to play because, Duke Ellington was so very how he was about the way he wrote music and the way
Very
he
sophisticated.
Yes.
Very ahead of his time.
I was like, so
But that's the principle of that is that we get so take the A train. We want to.
Yes.
It don't mean a thing of it. Those are great tunes.
those are great tunes.
But
I
there's
love
another-
a swing. Don't get me wrong.
There's another 1,900 pieces that we can also delve into. So always being open,
Yes,
to
yes.
new things, and as I get older, it's harder for me, to be honest with you. It's harder for me, but it's still I strive for it.
Yes. Thank you for this conversation.
Oh man, this has been fantastic. Please have me back. I
Are you
would
kidding
love
me?
to come back.
You can come
movies,
anytime you
movies,
want.
movies.
I
you
want
know?
to talk about movies because I'm dying to see which movies you pick. Dying. I just want to
Stay in touch. We'll stay in
I'm
touch.
gonna stay in touch because I want to know the movie. I'm gonna come to that show.
Come to the show. Yeah.
Because I love movies and I bet you I know every song.
I bet you will, or not. There might be some little surprises
There
on
might
it.
be. There might.
some
I don't know.
surprises.
Not much gets by me in movie music.
But as I said to you before we got on air, even with this program, with the Wicked Divas, I knew maybe half of the numbers, and so
I know,
learned,
which I was surprised because you were so at ease and so.
Well, you learn. You have to learn the you have to learn the music, and I found some real jewels that I didn't know,
Yeah.
and just touching music.
Yes.
There's really the words.
Yes.
Can be so clever.
Yes.
Standing on the corner, watching the girls go by. That's one of the songs. Just for the record, that's one of the songs.
I
Okay.
love that song.
Mhm.
I loved all of them. I loved.
I am what I am.
I loved all of them. I couldn't,
So before I go off, can I just say a few of the songs that are on the program?
Yes.
Just real quick.
Yes,
So
say
we start
them.
off with a little bit of Candide Overture last year,
Which
2000
was really nice.
Yes.
That's what that was phenomenal.
It's an upbeat piece, difficult piece by Leonard Bernstein, but 2018 was his 100th centennial of his birth. He was born in
Ooh.
1918. Did a little 76 trombones. Let it go.
Yes.
Let it go.
from
you can't
from
stop
Frozen.
Yes, you can't stop the beat. We had some music from Wicked, of course, Wicked Divas, Popular, Defying Gravity, For Good. That ended the show.
Yeah.
Which is it's a beautiful piece. And usually you end the show with like a really upbeat, fast.
Yeah.
That was so touching.
Yeah.
And then there might be an encore. I'm just saying.
Well, there was one.
Might have been an encore. I don't know.
It was
I
good.
don't know.
I sat in that theater and I was just like, I just enjoyed it. I loved the costume or the gown.
Yes.
I loved the gay men's chorus.
And it was
I loved-
Ali Mozzie and Julia Murney, who
Mhm.
were the two soloists, vocal soloists, and as you said, the Connecticut Gay Men's Chorus were also with us. So it's a fabulous evening. It's at 7:30, I believe, at
Mhm.
Woolsey Auditorium.
Yep.
On this coming Thursday. So
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day is a great date
Oh my God.
show to come.
This will be an impressive date night. If you want to impress
you want
somebody,
to impress?
seriously, dinner and this,
That would be a good night.
you
That
might win.
See, I'm just trying.
I can't guarantee it. I'm just putting it.
Just
Take
putting
your
it
shot.
out there.
Take your
Take a shot, and she'll yes. So
Take your shot. So Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Chelsea, you have got to come back.
I'll be back.
I've enjoyed this so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harry.
God bless.
All right, I'm playing this out.